Hello. Today I will show you the release of the Camera360 version 3 plugin. Let's try to do something on the huge project, City Sample project. I will show you how the new plugin works. So let's load the heaviest scene, big city level. I won't change anything right now, any post-process. We will go through all of this together. So, to start, we activate the render camera. Camera360 version 3. Next, we select the sequence that we need. Let's take, as an illustration, for example, the city sandbox environment. So, don't give anything more complicated. Here we have a scene, sequence. All we need to do is simply click on Movie Render, open the settings, and add a new pass for Camera360 version 3. Let's go ahead and do a quick test render. There's nothing that needs to be changed. All you need to do is add the pass and anti-aliasing, which is necessary for it to work. Let's set the format to PNG. We support EXR, PNG, BMP, and JPEG. Please choose a folder. On any drive, do not use the project folder. Great. We click Accept and start rendering. The first time you render, unfortunately, the preview will not be visible. But in subsequent renders, you will see the preview. There's nothing to worry about. You can immediately see the results of our renders in the Render Camera folder, as we selected. As you can see, we are currently using, without any changes to the rendering, so we will stop it, and we need to make adjustments. Adjust the brightness settings. Because in any case, corrections need to be made here, and change the exposure to minus. Usually it's 10.5, which is a standard setting. I also recommend removing chromatic aberration, vignette, and bloom. But for now we can leave it as it is. Let's remove it for the time being, just to see the difference. Overall, let's try again and see the results. Notice that this resolution is in 8K, meaning 8000 pixels, which is quite high. So, our brightness is now set perfectly, just as we wanted. Now we have achieved a clean render, without any seams, meaning it was like before, and after, but now it's seamless. So I changed the brightness to achieve this effect. Let's try applying a different projection to see how it looks. We have not only 360, but also VR1080, Fulldome, Cylindrical Projection, and Spherical Mirror available. Let's check Fulldome. All you need to do is change the resolution to 1.1. The settings are already automated for resolutions. Therefore, all you need to do is change the size of your projection. As you can clearly see, we currently have our Fulldome projection system operational. Let us now proceed to stop the rendering process. As you can clearly see once again, we are indeed doing synchronous rendering of all the cameras, which results in all the machines being synchronized. All objects will be absolutely and completely synchronized. So let's try changing the Fulldome settings, for instance, to 360. Fulldome 360 degrees. All you need to do is carefully and precisely select our pass again, and then choose the Fulldome projection settings, and then click on the apply button. Yes, now you won't have problems with lack of space, as expected. Now, everything is automated as quickly as possible. Temporary files are always deleted. That is, as soon as the rendering is done, the previous files are removed, and they are not needed. So, let's see what we will have if we make it 360. And here is our 360 Fulldome projection, which is an immersive experience that surrounds the viewer with a seamless visual display. It was initially like this, with a basic setup, and now it looks like this, with enhanced clarity and vibrant colors that truly captivate the audience. Everything is excellent, with remarkable improvements in quality, and very fast overall, ensuring a smooth and efficient performance. The rendering uses one camera, which simplifies the process while maintaining high quality output. Let's try VR10 as well, which offers a unique perspective by capturing a 180-degree field of view, providing an engaging and realistic experience. We need a projection size of 1:1, which is crucial for maintaining the correct aspect ratio and ensuring that the visuals are displayed accurately. Click Apply to confirm the settings, and remove any unnecessary elements to streamline the process. We are carefully examining our VR10 projection, which means that here, in this particular instance, you can also change and modify the configuration settings of the VR10 projection, not only to 180, but, for instance, let us consider to 220 as an option. Nevertheless, it is important to note that you will need to adjust the output image size appropriately, which implies that we took a larger projection with a wider capture in order to achieve the desired outcome. So let's try another projection, for example, cylindrical. For cylindrical projections, enlarged scales are usually used. Let's imagine it's 8000 by 1000, but you will need to adjust the sizes. Let's try 40. Yes, you can also change the size of the horizontal field of view as needed. So let's try 8000 by 1000, and now we wait for the result. Let's check. Great. In our case, we got a perfect cylindrical projection for our project. So what's next? Let's try the spherical mirror. The spherical mirror is set to 2:1. All you need to do is select the projection and size, then apply. You work just like with regular rendering. The plugin does everything for you. It handles camera rotations and stitching automatically, so you need to do minimal actions, which is to prepare the project, specifically the post-process. In our case, you can see the spherical projection, the spherical mirror. At the moment it goes at 360 degrees. In the future I think I will make some changes. Unfortunately, the spherical mirror does not have a stereo mode, but there is a stereo mode for the other projections. Let's create a 360 degree stereo image at a size of 8000 and click apply. However, let's use a different sequence so that it is clear that this is stereo. Let's take this scene. It will be easier with her. So, let's imagine we need the 50th frame. We select. In stereo mode, 8000. Wait. By 4000. I'm not making any more changes. I'm doing stereo 360. And let's replace it with PNG. Great. We will change our frame to 50 by 50 and 56, for example. Alright. We press start. Rendering stereo takes more time. So in the future, I plan to speed up the rendering time. But for now, rendering takes time. I will now tell you what there is. So the shaders are being loaded here, so it's a bit slower. So for rendering stereo, we are waiting for 2 frames. That is, depending on the selected quality. I will show you this now. I remind you, city sample 8K. That is, this is a very large project, and as you can clearly see, the rendering is generally going quite well. So, let's absolutely check. You can really make large projections, and the plugin allows you to do this without any significant issues or concerns. So, indeed, let us thoroughly check our stereo option. This is correct. Stereo, but I recommend adding more smoothing if necessary. The first renders may always have some artifacts. But overall, as you can see, this is functional stereo. However, there are certain points regarding the quality of the stereo that can be noted. So, we have stereo that supports all necessary rotations. Everything is good with that, and there are no problems. Excellent. All the machines are synchronized, so there are no issues there either. You can choose the stereo type, either parallel or of a kiss, depending on the distance. For example, let's consider a distance of 4 meters. Yes, and the quality here depends on the speed. The higher the quality you set, the slower the rendering will be, but the segments will have a lower degree, resulting in less distortion. Any such artifacts. But let's try the good mode. This is already an excellent result. I will show you an example, frame 54. Let's try to wait for frame 52. As you can see, the temporary folder is automatically deleted, and you don't need to do anything. Again, it seems that shader compilation is happening here, so the rendering may be slower than usual. So you can see that the camera automatically picks up your cinema camera and starts capturing in one. In the frame, you can notice that I have chosen the good mode, which requires a minimum of 144 frames to create a stereo image. This means that the first frame will be at a 280-degree rotation. Now we are waiting together. So, we have the first frame coming up. Great. And we have a continuation coming up. We are waiting. But in principle, we can already check. So, what do we have with this new scene? The stereo, as you can see, is smoother and has fewer flaws. But I also use off-axis and additional details. Let's take a look and observe the nuances. So we use off-axis which means a distance of 4 meters. So we have a rotational movement right around this particular area. This is the operational stereo, and we are at a distance of 4 meters. Now let's stop the rendering. Let me show you how to work with layers. As you can see, the car is perfectly synchronized and aligned. Everything is excellent and optimal in every aspect. Everything is absolutely great. Everything works. So what do we have next? Let's try to use some extra and supplementary layers for enhanced functionality. I won't use stereo right now, but in stereo mode, at the current moment in time and situation, layers work, stand, layers, and render layers work only in XR, in PNG, in mono mode. You can essentially and fundamentally work with render passes, for example, in a variety of different scenarios. World. Normal. Let me show you. Let's say you need world normal. Scene def. So we have the PNG format. Great. Stereo has been removed. In mono format, you can render layers such as render passes. If you need render passes and stencil layers, then use EXR, such as for complex projects. In future updates, I will try to add more capabilities and other features so that other formats can work as well, in various ways. So we have the final, image, scene def, and as I mentioned, for mono mode, all formats support render passes, for example, in different scenarios. Let's try the EXR format. The XR format supports compression, for example, DVA, to save space and enhance the functionality of the software in different scenarios and applications. And let's try the same passes in the EXR format, which is a high dynamic range image file format used for storing images with a wide range of colors and brightness levels. But please keep in mind that the EXR format is currently not very fast for stereo mode. In mono mode, it generally works quite rapidly overall. So now we are waiting. We are checking. So we essentially have the same layers, but in the form of separate channels. Great! We press stop. The EXR format also supports stencil. Layers, meaning it supports rendering. Channels, and stencil, passes. However, please keep in mind that the rendering process is slower with these passes. Let's try stereo. Currently, in the stereo format, it will do the rendering, but it will take quite a long time in the current setup. However, I will show you how it works and elaborate on the process so that you have an idea, and to give you a comprehensive understanding of the entire procedure in detail. In the future, I will speed up the procedures to produce everything faster and ensure efficiency in future operations. I will select fast by selecting the appropriate settings and apply rendering and applying the necessary techniques for optimal results. As you can see, rendering in stereo is quite slow. In the EXR format, it is the rendering of passes and rendering of stencil layers, but it will work. Currently, the EXR format is in the optimization stage, so we need to wait a little longer. I will address the optimization issue and the speed will be faster. But at the moment, as you can see, the EXR layers take time. It will work, but it will take time. So let's check. You can see that all layers are functioning, but the rendering time, especially during stitching, is quite slow right now, particularly concerning the layers. However, it will work, meaning I will optimize this aspect. So we need to. Please hold on for a moment while I take care of stopping the rendering process. This will only take a short while, and once it's done, everything will be in order. I appreciate your patience and understanding during this brief pause. The rendering process is crucial for ensuring that everything is displayed correctly and efficiently. Thank you for waiting, and I assure you that it will be completed very soon. Great. Now we can proceed with the next steps without any issues. So, the next point I will show you is how to make very high resolution projections. Let's imagine, for example, we have a flight over the city. Let's choose a frame, for example. So, as you can see, the process is not complicated. We add the PNG format, which is any format that is convenient for you. We apply smoothing. And let's make a super high resolution, for example 40,000 pixels by 20,000. We will divide this into two parts because it is necessary. Otherwise, you will encounter a failure or something else. The step is that it will split a large image into two parts and stitch it together. So, we choose 40,000 by 20,000 and apply high resolution, where we have, for example, the tile count. Let's set it to 3, but actually 4 is better. And let's try to apply rendering now. In fact, you can also create larger projections, like 6,000 or 7,000. It all depends more on your system and how it handles rendering. Overall, if your high resolution works and renders in tiles, you will be able to achieve high resolutions. And so we can say we have 4,000 pixels. It takes, let's see, most likely 1 minute and 30 seconds. Waiting. Don't worry, this is the stitching stage, so you need to wait. After all, not every plugin can handle 40,000 pixels. So we wait, but if you want to check, you can see the process. Here, we are meticulously cutting it into smaller, manageable pieces, ensuring precision and accuracy at every step, and then the careful stitching follows, which is a crucial part of the process. 2 minutes have already passed, and as you can see, we have a fairly large projection, which is currently at 700 megabytes and consists of 40,000 pixels. This size is due to the high resolution quality we aim to achieve, allowing for detailed and expansive visuals. So, let's check what we have achieved. As you can see, the clarity is very high, meaning these can be really huge projections for your projects. This high clarity ensures that every detail is captured, making it ideal for professional presentations and large-scale displays, providing an immersive experience.